And welcome back inside Pete Matthews Coliseum here on the campus of Jacksonville State University. We are rolling forward with our coverage of the TV24 Holiday Showcase. There you see the next matchup, brought to you by America's Home Place in Oxford. It'll be the 7-1 White Plains Wildcats taking on the 8-5 Talladega Tigers. Mickey Shaddrick's with you courtside, joined now by Gerhard Mathangani as we're getting set for the call of this game. This is one we've been looking forward to all day. The White Plains Wildcats, as we mentioned, their record is 7-1. They played last night. They beat Jacksonville. They're having a great season so far. And then Talladega at 8-5. They played last night, beat Sylacauga. Kind of a contrasting styles and also different type team makeups. White Plains has a lot of experienced players back.
Right.
Coach Chucky Miller is fielding what he told me yesterday, the youngest team he's ever had.
Exactly, and that's a true test for Talladega because they are usually laden with veterans and guys that have had a lot of experience, juniors and seniors. But he's tinkering around with his lineup. We will let you know about that here in just a heartbeat. But the kind of start that White Plains has had is really one of the better ones that Chris Randall's had. And these Chris Randall teams have been to the Northeast Regional many times, also been to Birmingham a couple times as well, playing out of Class 4A. 7-1, you mentioned their record. But one of the most impressive things is they beat the team that we just saw, the Oxford Yellow Jackets. They beat them handily earlier on the season, so I'm really excited to see them tonight.
All right, let's check out the Bama Power Sports starting lineups. We'll go ahead and give you White Plains first. On your left, Jared Guthrie is really the key spark in this White Plains engine. He is a fantastic ball handler, good scorer. Eli Hightower, great three-point shooter, as is Michael McGuirk and Lawrence Jackson. Very versatile player that can play all 5 positions. And Murphy Doss, not a very tall guy, but a very, very good post player inside who can step out and hit the outside shot. Meanwhile, you see on the right of your screen the Talladega starters. Coach Chucky Miller warned us he might change his lineup, which he did. So the names you see on the screen there are not correct. He will start Fred Dickerson, Jay Smoot, who is the team's leading scorer. Also Ashton Duncan, Wadarius Tuck, and Robert Houston, who is also listed on your screen there. So Coach Miller has really no returning player with much playing experience on this team, but it's still a typical Talladega team. They like to come out and press full court, try to really turn you over. So that'll be the challenge for White Plains is, number one, handling the full court pressure, then getting across half court and getting set up. Because once White Plains gets in their half court offense, Gerhard, they got shooters at every spot.
Exactly. Everybody that keeps up with basketball in this area, they know exactly what Talladega brings, and they bring that full court pressure. And there are certain times where Coach Chucky Miller wants to mix things up with his own team and with his scheme. We've already seen it with his own team, basically putting out a fresh 5, a couple of the same guys still in there like Smoot. But with White Plains, the thing that makes this team run is the fact that they can shoot the basketball just as well as any team in the state of Alabama. Last year, Talladega went 30-3. They advanced to the Northeast Regional. They'll try to get back to there. They already have 5 losses this season. So we will see, and they get a good test today in White Plains.
So Tuck will jump it against Michael McGuirk, and we are just about set for Game 7. And look at there, 7 p.m. We are right on time. Hard to believe after starting at 10 a.m. this morning that Game 7 would start right on the money at 7 o'clock. And of course, one more to follow this game, be Gadsden City and Spain Park. Talladega opens up in a zone against White Plains, and it's out of bounds off of the Tigers. White Plains will maintain possession. Jackson over to Hightower. His 3 is good.
You mentioned at the top of the telecast that they can shoot the three-pointer, and they can shoot it well. And you mentioned Eli Hightower, and there he is right on cue. Number 3 burying the 3.
Be interesting to see if Talladega stays in this zone very long. Down the floor, Jackson trying to find Murphy Doss. Bad pass, so the Tigers push it up the floor now. White Plains opening up man-to-man against the Tigers. Smoot finds Duncan. His shot is no good. Rebound by Tuck. Houston's shot is good.
Nice shot there by Robert Houston. He's a big guy, and a lot of times big guys will, opposite teams will give you that shot until you make it. Good job by him on making it. And once again, another three-pointer, this time Michael McGort.
White Plains has to be licking their chops, seeing a zone here to start this game. They're 2 from 2 from behind the arc. So good start for White Plains. Smoot, nice dish, and a nice shot there by Wadarius Tuck. Good penetration that time by Jay Smoot, the senior, coming into this game the leading scorer for the Tigers. McGuirk shoots an air ball. Talladega limits the Wildcats to 1 shot. Here they come. Dickerson pushes it up the court, now backs it up.
Key to this game will be Talladega on the boards whenever White Plains misses shots, and they don't miss very often, but when they do miss shots, can Talladega grab those defensive rebounds and not force or not have second chance shots by White Plains.
Smoot missed badly. Houston's got it. Finds Dickerson open, and he lays it in.
Good job there by Dickerson, really just not quitting on the play. Stayed inside. His teammate was able to find him. Easy layup.
Guthrie penetrates the zone. Nothing there. McGuirk drives back to Jackson. Now to Guthrie. White Plains resets it. Jackson fires up a 3 from the left wing, and he hits it.
You wonder how long they will stay in this zone, because especially on the corners, they're getting out to these shooters just a hair too late, and Guthrie makes them.
This is three-point target practice right now, Gerhard.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
3 for 4 from behind the arc for White Plains, and that's not an average. That's how they shoot the ball. Off a White Plains player, so no backcourt that time. Duncan calls a play, high screen. Dickerson left open in the corner. Pulls up, hits the shot. So 9-8 game, White Plains with 3 threes. That's the difference in the game. McGuirk tries to make it 4. He can't connect. Nice save by Guthrie. Hightower's open. He misses. Offensive rebound, Lawrence Jackson. Back out to Guthrie. His first shot of the game is no good. White Plains had 3 cracks at it there, couldn't break through. And Guthrie's going to pick up a foul. Guthrie got in some foul trouble in their win over Jacksonville yesterday. Picks up 1 here.
Take a look here at the foul once again. It's a good job by penetrating there and really forcing White Plains to come up and make that play on defense. And they're able to get the foul call. And the big fella on the inside, they're able to get the basket.
You talk about a big fella. Robert Houston. He's going to have the size advantage every time he touches it in the paint. Kevin Carr's checked into the game, by the way, for White Plains. Talladega's gone a little more to a matchup zone now. They're trying to get someone in the shooter's face. They get a steal on the break, no good. Smoot's there for the rebound, and he puts it back in. So Smoot gets his first points of the game. So Talladega turns up the defensive pressure, Gerhard, and they find themselves with a 3-point lead just like that here in the first quarter.
And this is the way they normally do it. This is the way they turn defense into offense, by really making sure that the offensive guys have pressure on them on the ball. And it really hurt them at the beginning when they played that softer zone, but like you said, as soon as they turned it to a matchup zone, it really helped them out. And there's Chucky Miller, one of the best basketball minds, not just here in this area, but Mickey, he has to be one of the best basketball minds in the state of Alabama.
Been coaching a long time. I even played against him when he was coaching. That tells you how old Chucky Miller is. But I mentioned earlier in the game with John and I were talking, not only is Talladega fun to watch, he's just fun to watch coach. He is a good basketball coach and a great basketball character.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I doubt that tie will be neat and that coat will be neat all the way through this game. Something will come off here before it's over with. He'll throw something or something.
Exactly.
Just kidding. But I don't expect that tie to be that neat in the fourth quarter.
No. And unless his team is absolutely perfect shooting, and even still then you'll see a loosened knot.
So a turnover by White Plains. So see Talladega staying in that zone, but more matching up, trying to keep White Plains from getting those open looks from behind the arc. They got a 3-point lead as we near the 3-minute mark of the first quarter, and there you see just a bad pass there. Wadarius Tuck threw it to no one, so White Plains gets it back.
A little miscommunication there in their half-court set. Can't have too many of those against a good shooting team like White Plains.
Inside to McGuirk. Takes it in and draws the foul. So not only can McGuirk stand out behind the arc and hit the three, he's got the height to go inside and do this.
Exactly, and you like to post. A lot of times teams will do this. Teams that like to shoot will get one of their big guys that shoot and put them right by the free throw line and really give him the option. It's kind of like a quarterback having the option in football where he has the option to put it on the ground or find one of the shooters on the outside when the defense collapses on him. And McGuirk's a good enough shooter and a good enough passer, but Coach Randall likes him in that spot in the middle of the floor.
So McGuirk makes both. He's got 5 points here in the first quarter. A 1-point Talladega lead. White Plains, tight man-to-man defense. Smoot, nice dish inside, and a nice finish there by Tuck.
It's just a really good pass on the inside, good penetration. The right one-on-one play down the post.
Talladega back to a 3-point lead. Carr cut off by Duncan, and we got a reach-in foul here. A little over-aggressive that time for Ashton Duncan. And that will be Ashton's first personal foul, and substitution time for Coach Miller is Jarvis McKenzie, who normally starts, comes into the game, and Duncan will go to the bench. Oh, nice job there defensively by Dickerson. Now Smoot pulls up, shoots the three, airballs it. Nice save that time. Good effort by Dickerson, but White Plains controls. Kevin Carr pushes it up the floor. Got Hightower wide open in the corner, didn't see him. There's McGuirk open. And they're going to say he stepped out of bounds. Tough break for McGuirk because he drained another three.
Yeah, stepped just on the end line right there, and the referee had a great angle at it. Might have been just slight little back of his heel kind of situation. As White Plains has a foul on the floor.
McKenzie, aggressive move to the basket, draws the foul against Lawrence Jackson. That will be Jackson's first foul. Second team foul for the Wildcats. Talladega will inbound with 2 minutes and 1 second left here in our first quarter. Wide open shot is good by Jarvis McKenzie. Off the bench, drains a three.
Just a good baseline play there, able to set him free with the screen up top and drain the three from the wing.
Hightower steps in, shoots the two. Nice looking jump shot for Eli Hightower. 5 points here in the first quarter.
Wise play there. He had a three-pointer open, decided to take one dribble, bring it inside, and drains the two-pointer.
Smoot pulls up, shoots a three, and gets it right back.
We are seeing a great shooting display here by both teams in the late part of this first quarter. Smoot there draining another one.
Smoot with the steal. Missed shot by Dickerson. Smoot a couple of tip attempts and finally gets it to roll in. So Jay Smoot coming to life here. He has 7 points in the first quarter. Talladega with their largest lead of the game at 9 points. Under a minute to play first quarter. Another steal. Dickerson cut off by Carr. Talladega really active here in the first quarter defensively, especially after White Plains hit those first couple of threes. They've really picked up their defensive intensity.
Their trademark is usually a full court press and just press you the entire way, but they're getting it done defensively in another scheme. It's kind of Chucky Miller's classic defensive guys.
Russ misses the shot inside, and a blocking foul going to be called here against Dickerson. And that'll be Dickerson's first personal foul. Substitutions now for Coach Miller as he sends in Jamonte Twyman along with Tyrese Scales. Jared Guthrie with the ball. Guthrie held scoreless so far here in the first quarter. He's only had one shot attempt. White Plains playing for one. Talladega content to set back and Here comes Guthrie on the attack. Hightower loses it, regains it. Cross court to McGuirk. Throws it up wildly at the buzzer, no good. So that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Good start for White Plains, and the Tigers got rolling. 22-13 game after 8 minutes here at the TV24 Holiday Showcase. We'll be back to the Pete after this timeout. And we are back. Second quarter action set to begin. Coach Chris Randall, head coach of the White Plains Wildcats, a well-established program out in White Plains. Basketball, we like to say local matters at TV24. Well, basketball matters at White Plains. Charging foul here against Talladega's Jamonte Twyman. So White Plains will get the basketball. Talladega shooting 52% in that first quarter. A lot of shots inside the paint. Macy Carr in the game, brother of Kevin Carr. Guthrie's first shot attempt, or second shot attempt, is blocked. Put back no good. Macy Carr forces it back up and in. Nice job there by the sophomore Macy Carr, muscling this thing back up and in around 3 Wildcat defenders. And we've got a foul inside against the Wildcats. I believe that was on Russ, his first, so ball goes back over to White Plains. So White Plains with a chance to cut into this Talladega lead even more. It was 9 to begin the quarter. It's 7 now. There you see the shot by Murphy Doss off the glass. Talladega right back down in a hurry. And Jamonte Twyman lays it in and draws the foul.
Good job there by Twyman. Came in late first quarter. Got a little bit of action. He would get the basket here. Helped to also get the free throw on the other end. Substitution for Talladega as DeMario Truss comes into the ball game.
Jared Guthrie, by the way, now has picked up his second foul, so not a good thing for White Plains. And we mentioned Guthrie was in foul trouble yesterday against Jacksonville. Got 2 here in the first half. There's Macy Carr finishing in the lane. Two quick buckets for Macy Carr.
That's exactly the way Talladega was scoring earlier. Just get on the inside, dribble the ball deep inside the paint, get an easy basket.
Shot no good in the lane by Scales. For Talladega, cold to start the second quarter. White Plains turns it over here. So now the Tigers back down the floor. Pull-up jumper from the free throw line is good by Ashton Duncan. That is his first points of the game for Duncan.
It's a good-looking shot right there. Just off the dribble, stop, pull up, and hit it.
Macy Carr a little out of control, lost it, so the Tigers push it up the floor now. And Duncan will bring it back out, reset the offense. Back to a 7-point lead for the Tigers as they look to add on to their lead. Three-point shot is an air ball by Tyrese Scales. And some substitutions now for Coach Chucky Miller. Houston is back in the game. Also coming in for the first time is DeMarco Truss.
Also Jackson Guthrie, number 21 for White Plains, getting back into the game as well as Carr.
Eli Hightower comes up short on the 3. Here goes Duncan in the lane. And through the pass behind DeMarco Truss. So another White Plains turnover, or I should say Talladega turnover. kind of a disjointed here beginning to the second quarter.
Yeah, really for both teams. And both teams really looked strong towards the end of the first. I'm sure they kind of wish they just kept playing, didn't have a timeout there.
Cross court to McGuirk. And McGuirk has his shot blocked by Houston. Ahead it goes to Duncan. Nice hustle there by White Plains. Jackson Guthrie to knock it away and save a layup.
Absolutely had numbers on the back end, and Guthrie all ball there. It's a great job on defense, because that's one of the things Talladega does so well is in transition, come back, really pin you deep.
Open on the left wing. Shot is no good by Scales, or by Truss. So here comes White Plains. Carr drives the lane. Nice dish inside to Macy Carr.
You got to figure they've done that in the backyard once or twice. The brothers connecting on the high-low.
6 points for Macy here in the second quarter. White Plains pulls to within 5. Truss guarded out high by Guthrie. They lob it inside to Houston. He misses the shot. Scales goes back up. Can't connect. It is loose. Saved in bounds, but to Dickerson. And they're going to get him for a charging foul here. Kevin Carr taking the charge. And that'll be foul number 2 on Dickerson.
That's just a good job by Kevin Carr, getting in position, set his feet. That's a perfect call by the official. Very heads-up play there by White Plains on defense.
Coach Miller, a lot of substituting here in the first half. He gets Jay Smoot back on the floor.
And he said earlier he's tinkering with his lineup, so he's looking for 5 guys that can give him some quality minutes, both on the defensive side and on the opposite side. He's seen it really in spurts with different guys and different lineups. He's really trying to find out which one's going to work best for this team.
I think they missed a travel there. And then White Plains misses the shot. Here comes Jay Smoot. Behind the back. And Guthrie draws the charge. So Jay Smoot picks up his first foul. Coach Chucky Miller doesn't agree with that call.
He got the privilege, he and all the other coaches are having the privilege of watching what you're seeing on a projection screen up in the top left-hand side of the Pete Matthews Coliseum gym from their angle, and he did not agree with that. It was like Talladega player got rid of the basketball before he ran into the White Plains defender, but either way, it's a charge, and we're headed back the other direction.
Jackson cut off on the baseline. Macy Carr drives. Triple team back out to a wide open Lawrence Jackson. All the 3 rims in and out, tough break. Houston goes to the floor with the ball, and they're going to call traveling. Houston got the rebound, just lost his footing, and the big guy was in a bad spot at that point.
Yeah, and you saw there on the replay, it's just, he just fell there, and they're making sure that the floor, that's the holdup right now, they're making sure the floor is no longer wet with sweat. Keep everybody safe in this game.
McGuirk open, top of the key. Can't hit the 3. So White Plains gone cold from behind the arc here in the second quarter. Both teams really cold here in the second quarter. Smoot tries to change that, and he does as he drains the 3. So Jay Smoot, first Talladega player to reach double figures. First player in the game, actually, to reach double figures. He has 10 points. It's an 8-point lead now. Kevin Carr drives baseline. Dishes to Jackson. Ball is loose. Knocked out of bounds by Scale, so it will stay with White Plains. Murphy Doss is at the scores table about to check in for the Wildcats. And he will take the place of Guthrie. Also, Eli Hightower's in for Lawrence Jackson.
Pretty interesting game so far. Both teams were really hot at the beginning of the game. Kind of cooled off early part of the second quarter, and now both teams looking to find some footing, and both Coach Randall and Coach Miller looking to find some guys and find the lineup that will help them out as they go into halftime here.
McGuirk has his shot blocked. Ahead it goes to Scales, and he lays it in. So Scales with his first points of the game. It's a 10-point Talladega lead, but Michael McGuirk quickly changes that as he lays it in. McGuirk now with 7 points. Back to an 8-point game. We near a minute to play here in the first half.
Much needed basket there by White Plains.
Pass inside to Houston. Big fella turns and misses wildly, but it's nice follow shot that time by Tuck. Tuck with 6 points in the game. Back to a 10-point lead.
It's kind of right place, right time, because the rebound that was kind of long. He didn't have to go over the back, put it up.
Nobody guards Duncan. He says, okay, I'll drain 3. Ashton Duncan with 5 points here in the second quarter. Talladega with their largest lead of the game at 13. Less than a minute to play. McGuirk dishes inside to Doss. It's knocked away by Talladega. Good hands by the Talladega defense. Jay Smoot pulls up. Long range 3 from the top of the key is an air ball. And it will go back over to White Plains. Jared Guthrie checks into the game with those 2 fouls, but Coach Randall wants his offense here in the final 20 seconds.
Yeah, this is a scheme play, making sure that his point guard doesn't get his 3rd foul right before halftime.
Here's Guthrie. Cut off at the top of the key over to Murphy Doss. 5 seconds. Jared looking for his shot. Gets to the corner, fires it up, no good. And that'll take us to the end of the first half. White Plains struggling for offense here in this first half. Only 23 points at the break as Talladega takes a 13-point lead into the locker room. Chase Robinson is standing by with White Plains coach Chris Randall.
All right, Coach, a little bit of a slow start for you this first half. What's going to be the message at halftime?
Well, loud ball turnovers are killing us. We're very careless with the basketball. Talladega's got a lot to do with that. Not match up in transition, and they're killing us on the glass. That's a bad combination. We're fortunate we're only down 13.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Chase. Talladega looking good here in this first half, Gerhard.
Absolutely, and you heard Coach Randall say it, live ball turnovers really killed him, and what he means by that is turnovers that are because of whether it's a bad pass or just a ill-advised play that leads to the fast break points that Talladega puts up. At the end of the first quarter, Talladega already had 12 points in the paint, and that has to swell largely there in the second quarter. We'll get those second half stats to you.
All right, we'll step aside for a timeout. Come back with more at halftime at the TV24 Holiday Showcase live from Pete Matthews Coliseum. And back at Pete Matthews Coliseum, halftime of our game between Talladega and White Plains. There you see the score, 36-23. And Gerhard, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these numbers.
Yeah, some of the things that really stick out here is 47% shooting from the floor in the first half for the Talladega Tigers, 38% for White Plains, 40% from behind the arc. 4 of 10 is Talladega from behind the arc. Rebounds, it's an advantage to Talladega as well. And turnovers is exactly what Coach Randall talked about, the live ball turnovers. Those turnovers have led to 11 points off those turnovers. They're down by 13. I guess you can see where the difference of this game lies.
Yeah, sometimes the stats don't tell you everything, but they seem to in this one. You know, Coach Randall talked about the turnovers. Another area where Talladega is really winning the battle is in rebounding. They've got 8 more rebounds than White Plains in the first half, and Talladega has come up with 6 steals, White Plains with 0 steals. So, and who would have thought this? Here at halftime, Talladega is out shooting White Plains from behind the three-point line, especially the way the game started for White Plains when they started off hitting 3 threes in that first quarter. But here we are at halftime. They're 3 of 14, and Talladega's 4 of 10.
Exactly. There was one point where White Plains was shooting 75% from behind the arc. They were 3 of 4 at one point. Since then, over. And I think that's the difference of this ball game, especially when it came to the middle part of the first quarter and then the middle part of the second quarter where Talladega really made that run. Here late in the first quarter, what really kind of set the tone for Talladega was the fact they were able to get second chance points because of the rebounds, like you talked about, able to get 14 points off second chance points, and that really kind of took the lead and made it spread. So for White Plains, we'll see if they can get some of their shooters back into this game and get back into it.
Let's talk about the Talladega defense. That's really the big story
Right.
here, holding White Plains to 23 points at halftime. They pretty much gone exclusively with a zone. They extended that zone a little bit in the first quarter when White Plains hit those early threes, and then since then, the points have been tough to come by for White Plains.
Exactly, and that's really their calling card. The Tigers' calling card has been their defense really ever since Chucky Miller started there. He really likes their defense to set up their offense, and if they can get as many fast break points as they want to and as they can, and they're doing it a little bit differently because it used to go just all up and down the court. They would guard the entire length of the floor, but here they got up in a regular zone to begin with. Those three-pointers really hurt them. Then they changed it up, had a matchup zone. They were just as intense, but they were just in better position.
And, you look at Jay Smoot, the leading scorer for Talladega. He's the only player for either team in double figures. He's got 10 points. A very smooth game for Smoot, I think. A very smooth game for Talladega offensively overall. Not a lot of turnovers.
Right.
They protected the ball. They really took advantage of their possessions. And Coach Miller's got to be pleased with how they have protected the basketball in this game so far.
Especially being so young. And one of the things that we talked about at the beginning of the telecast is that they're play so many different lineups because they're trying to figure out the 5 guys, the 6 guys, 7 guys that will give them the most production and then get the guys off the bench to become spark plugs for this team. What we saw with Smoot was the guy that came into this game leading them in scoring, really kind of setting the pace and setting the tone. And he's played really, like you said, a smooth game because even his shot selection has been really smooth. His shot itself is a smooth shot, and he's really been setting the tone for this team. And really, as they move forward, Coach Chucky Miller could just play off him and find out which guys play better around him.
And looking at White Plains' situation, they have no player in double figure. Michael McGuirk leads them with 7. They've got to get Jared Guthrie involved. He got 2 fouls early in the half and had to spend some extended time on the bench. I think that's a key for White. This game is not over by any stretch of the imagination, but I think Jared Guthrie is going to have an impact here in the second half.
Exactly, yeah. He's 0 for 3 overall, 0 for 2 from behind the arc, and he's one of their better three-point shooters and one of the guys that does a good job of setting up other shooters. So we'll see if his impact back in the game will help out guys like Michael McGuirk, Eli Hightower, and the Carr brothers.
All right, we'll step aside for one more timeout, come back, and get the second half started here. A great game today between Talladega and White Plains. Game 7 of 8 here at the TV24 Holiday Showcase. We'll be back to the peak in just a moment. And we would like to wish everyone watching today and tonight a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday season. And we are sure having a good time here today at JSU's Pete Matthews Coliseum at the TV24 Holiday Showcase. Mickey Shadricks and Gerhard Mathangani back with you, getting set for the second half of Talladega and White Plains. 36-23, the Tigers lead the Wildcats. Coming up right after this game, 8:30 scheduled tip-off between the #1 team in Class 7A and also the Gadsden City Titans. Should be a titanic matchup here to wrap up the showcase. So White Plains will come back out on the court with their regular starting 5, with the addition of Macy Carr, who had a good first half, 6 points in the second quarter. So Carr starts the second half in place of Lawrence Jackson. Talladega starts with Dickerson, Duncan, Truss, Houston, and Smoot. So here we go. See if the Wildcats can work their way back into this one. Guthrie, nice dish to McGuirk. Missed the layup inside, and Houston won that battle there with a rebound. But there you see the impact Guthrie can have. Just the penetration there and creating a layup inside for McGuirk.
Not only can he shoot it, but he can find the shooters. And Eli Hightower, Macy Carr, even Murphy Doss down low, I'm sure they're all glad when they see #3 in the ballgame.
Smoot out high. Over to Dickerson. And we've got some jockeying inside between Murphy Doss and Houston. They're going to call Robert Houston with a foul. Yeah, that's kind of tough. You know, Houston's such a big guy.
Right.
Kind of that Shaq effect. You know, it's hard for a big guy to move around, especially when you got a much smaller guy around you. It's so easy for an official to call you for a foul every time you move.
Exactly. The height disadvantage there and the size disadvantage goes to Robert.
Hightower almost pulled the trigger on the three. Guthrie does, and that's what White Plains needs right there. Jared Guthrie, a great sign for him. That's his first points of the game. A three here to make it a 10-point game.
He had to sit a lot of that first half, and you wondered how he was going to be coming out, and I think he made that answer really quick as Talladega comes right back with an answer.
That is Dickerson pulls up, hits the shot.
He likes that spot on the floor. It's the second time he's done that this game.
Not sure who McGuirt was throwing it to. I think he was trying to find Guthrie, but Guthrie had made a cut baseline, so a turnover. Here comes the Tigers of Talladega. You know, this will be their only appearance at Pete Matthews Coliseum. Unlike a lot of the teams from around here, they play in one of the South regionals, so they don't play the regional here at JSU.
Right. They play down south, and so whenever we're looking out for them, we always peer down at Montgomery and make sure that Talladega is doing well. They went 30-3 last year. Had a very tough region, and they'll reclassify coming up in February, so hopefully they'll come back to the Northeast Regional coming up in a couple of years.
Nice touch by Tuck. He's got 4 quick points here in the third quarter. So Talladega on a 6-3 run to start the third quarter, and the lead is 16. So a quick timeout by Coach Randall. So it looked like a good start there when Guthrie hits the three.
Right.
And Talladega came right back, Gerhard, with 6 straight points. And they see nice touch on the baseline there by Wadarius Tuck.
We talked about White Plains perimeter shooting heading into this game, and what we're seeing so far is Talladega has some pretty good perimeter shooters. We've seen Fred Dickerson hit 2 of those shots just beyond the free throw line off the dribble. And really, when you hit those kind of shots and when you can count on those shots going in, and then you're a relatively good three-point shooting team, then you're dangerous from all over because they have to guard every part of the floor. And so we'll see what kind of adjustments Chris Randall will make as Coach Chucky Miller has made his adjustments from the first half start that White Plains had. It's a good look at the coach right there.
And he's still intact. The coat's still on, the tie's still tight. He looks rather relaxed over there. That's very unusual for Chucky Miller, but his team's up by 16 in the third quarter.
Hey, you know, I'm guaranteeing somebody told him what we said, and they dared him to keep it straight, to keep it together. We can pull up some old video of Coach Miller hot, but he's got a lot to be proud of. His guys right now playing really well.
And we still got a long way to go. Missed shot inside. Talladega doing a good job of challenging the shots in the paint for White Plains. Pull-up shot from the right wing is no good by Duncan. Lawrence Jackson checked back into the game for the Wildcats. And we're going to have a kick ball on Talladega, so it'll stay with the Wildcats. You see it right there.
Michael McCork was on the outside and happened to peer over to Coach Chris Randall, and he said, just make the simple pass on the outside instead of going down low.
Hightower missed the three. Hightower had a three early in the game and is yet to hit from behind the arc in this game. Nice job by Guthrie knocking the pass away. Here comes White Plains. Jared Guthrie's pull-up shot is no good. So still a 16-point lead for the Tigers as we go under 5 minutes to play third quarter. Nice job by Murphy Doss. He stepped out of bounds. Talladega will get it back. It's like White Plains needs some kind of spark here.
Right. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that they're down, but they're playing really well aggressively here on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the second half. They need stops and points.
And going up there is Tuck as he is fouled on the way up. So Mr. Tuck will head to the free throw line after the foul against Eli Hightower. So Tuck making his first trip through the line to the line, and he makes it count. He has 11 points in the game. He is now Talladega's leading scorer. Give him another free throw. That's 6 points in the third quarter, 12 overall. Doss drives baseline among the Twin Towers. Can't get it to fall, and Talladega controls it. Well, you drive in there and you got Houston and you got Truss in there. That's a lot of height and length to deal with, and missed shot that time by Truss. So here comes White Plains, down by 18, needing a basket in a bad way. Guthrie finds a wide open Hightower, misses the three. Nice job by Carr to get the rebound. Inside to Doss. Hightower's three is good.
Second chance points there by White Plains is exactly what they needed. Just good offensive possession there. Got the Hightower on the wing. Missed it from the wing and did a great job offensive rebounding. He hits it from the side as we have a foul call here on White Plains.
Kevin Carr a little over aggressive on the defense. Checking into the game there, you see big number 42, Jalen Russ. The inbound right in front of our booth. So a 15-point lead for Talladega, and that's what the Wildcats need to force some turnovers. And they turn over Talladega right there. So here come the Wildcats looking to chip away at the 15-point Talladega lead. Carr, he misses the three. And again, another offensive rebound for White Plains, and Guthrie connects. So Jared Guthrie with a couple of trays here in the third quarter. And this is what White Plains is looking for to get going. Let's see how Talladega responds to the run here by White Plains. Inside shot is no good, but they're going to get Murphy Doss with a foul.
Murphy Doss giving up a lot of height really on both guys, whether it's Russ in the game or if it's Tuck in the game. And that time there he had his hands up. He didn't want to get called for the foul, but got the body on him, and Russ goes back to the free throw line and misses this one.
So Tuck misses the first. He's 2 for 3 now at the line. And misses the second. Oh, tough break for the Wildcats, though. Macy Carr could not corral the rebound. So Talladega will get the ball back. White Plains has cut this lead down to 12. It was 18 just a moment ago. White Plains would like to have a strong finish to the quarter, get this thing to a manageable number heading into the fourth. The way White Plains can shoot threes, they're never out of a game. Dickerson, tough shot, somehow got it to go.
I'll tell you what, I've been very impressed with Dickerson's perimeter shooting. He's really done it from that 15-foot area. Has once again another three-pointer goes down for White Plains.
Guthrie hits the three while we were showing the replay there, and that's 3 threes. And look at Tigers come back down and push it up the floor. Jamonte Twyman gets the layup.
The last part of the second quarter, kind of looking like the third quarter, sorry, looking like the last part of the first quarter, where both teams were hitting shots up and down the court.
We mentioned, Gerhard, at halftime that Jared Guthrie needed to get going. He's got 3 threes here in the third quarter. Eli Hightower has a 3. So all 12 of White Plains' points are on threes. Inside shot is no good. And there is Macy Carr with a rebound. Here comes Guthrie pushing it up the floor. Oh, and it's stolen there. Here comes Duncan ahead of the field, and he is fouled on the way to the basket by Macy Carr. So White Plains missed an opportunity there. They had a chance to cut this possibly down to 10, but instead, Talladega's Ashton Duncan will be at the line to try to make it a 15-point lead again.
Yeah, one thing that White Plains can't do in this situation is continue to foul Talladega. That's 14 fouls so far on White Plains. So far they're sitting okay as it relates to the bonus situation coming up in the fourth quarter.
One of the many sophomores for Coach Chucky Miller on this year's Talladega team. Hits both free throws. Nice stroke there by Duncan. He's got 7 points in the game, so it's back to 15 now. Under 2 minutes to play third quarter. Near steal by Dickerson. Carr penetrates. Jackson cut off by Dickerson. Finds Carr open. His three-point shot is way short. Guthrie tracks down the loose ball. White Plains another shot at it. Inside the lane, Carr is fouled by Talladega's Jalen Russ, as we'll see it here. Russ comes over but doesn't get set. So Carr will go to the line. Tough break there, rolls in and out. Kind of the story of the game for White Plains.
Especially in the second half. Really ever since about midway through the second quarter, it seems like they can't consistently get shots to fall. Everybody outside of Guthrie because Guthrie has been heating up. He's got 3 threes already.
White Plains going with some full court pressure now. And they almost force a turnover. Talladega a little careless with the ball. Now they're set up offensively. Scales controls on the left wing, out top to Smoot, who's been quiet here in the third quarter. Dickerson, he's been money with that shot in the game, but missed that one. Battle for the loose ball, it's on the floor. White Plains has it. Hightower's got a teammate wide open. McGuirk controls and lays it in.
Good job there by McGuirk because the ball actually changed direction because Smoot got his hand on it. McGuirk able to adjust, get the ball into the basket on the easy layup and cut a little bit into this Talladega lead.
12-point lead and a charging foul. Guthrie took it. The call by the official is Jarvis Matt McKenzie just out of control on the baseline. And now here we are again at that situation. White Plains down by 12 can cut into this lead. With a 3, they could cut it under 10.
They're getting the stops they want on the defensive side. Now they need the points back on the offensive side.
Guthrie. Quez Wyatt in the game now, and White Plains turns it over. Here come the Tigers. Nice dish to Smoot, who lays it in. I mentioned Smoot's been quiet. That's his first points of the second half. He's got 12 in the game. 14-point lead. White Plains finds an open Guthrie, missed it badly, and it will go out of bounds to Talladega. Well, instead of a strong finish for White Plains, now Talladega looking to finish the quarter strong.
Absolutely. Whenever White Plains has a little bit of breath of life, Talladega has an answer.
Boy, Talladega very careless with the ball, and it cost them there. 2 seconds, they got to get it in the air quickly, and McGuirk can't get the shot off. And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter. So it is a 14-point Talladega lead as we head into the final 8 minutes here in this matchup between White Plains and Talladega. We'll continue with the TV24 Holiday Showcase after this timeout. Welcome back inside the Pete, the TV24 Holiday Showcase. Mickey Shadricks and Gerhard Mathangani set for the fourth quarter. 8 minutes left in this one. White Plains trails Talladega by 14. Tigers have the ball out of the quarter break. Talladega outscored White Plains by a point in that third quarter, 16-15. Even though White Plains did get it going a little bit from behind the arc with Jared Guthrie with 3 threes. But Talladega seemed to answer every run by White Plains.
They did, and that's what really created separation in this game that really has maintained itself since about the middle part of the second quarter. A double-digit lead that Talladega put up early on, especially with a lot of points in the paint, and You know, Coach Chris Randall's going to go back to those first half turnovers that created the separation.
Oh, nice defense by Hightower, blocking Smoot's shot. But Talladega gets another opportunity. Inside it goes, and we've got a whistle and a foul inside against White Plains. See if we can pick up who it is. I think from behind, they're going to get Eli Hightower, and that will send Jamonte Twyman to the free throw line. Misses badly on the first. Second free throw is no good. Tigers missed them both, and we're going to have a foul inside, I believe, on number 42 of Talladega, Jalen Russ over the back. So the Tigers missed both free throws. Break for the Wildcats. Here comes Houston back into the game. Jalen Russ will go to the bench. Jackson trying to penetrate against the zone, dishes off to Guthrie. Pump fake inside, nice job there by Guthrie. Gets the bucket and the foul.
We saw Guthrie earlier in the game took 2 charges that really helped his ball club out. There comes through on the offensive side with 2 points, his first points of the game. Can make it 3 here, and we've been saying this about White Plains really ever since about early part of the third quarter. They just need something to keep them into this ball game. With a stop here and points on the other end, they can cut this into a single-digit lead.
11-point game. Baseline runner is no good. Rebound by Houston, and he puts it back up and in. So the big fella doing work on the offensive glass. Robert Houston, 6 points in the game.
That's the advantage that they have when he's in the ball game. That points in the paint go way up because he is such a tough mismatch.
And he affected that shot by Jared Guthrie and then got the rebound. Little runner is, well, how many charging fouls has Jackson Guthrie drew in this game?
By my count, that's at least 3 so far. He does a good job of, he knows where to set up, and
that's been one of their best weapons is him drawing charging fouls.
It really has.
And his brother shoots the 3, and it hits the top of the glass, no good. And off of Talladega, though, so White Plains will get another opportunity.
You have to figure this is a really key part in this basketball game right here. If White Plains can continue to get points, and that's not the way to do it right there, turning it over, but Talladega gives it right back to them. But this is a key point of this game, and I think Coach Chris Randall's on the same page that I am, that calling a timeout here, because with 6:15 to go, it's a 13-point game. Really, this game could swing either way, and we've seen it do both things throughout the course of this game.
54-41 with 6:15 left in the fourth quarter. Good shot on the White Plains huddle there. Coach Chris Randall. His team trying to claw their way back into this one. We haven't been under 10 since the second quarter of this one. Talladega's been able to fight off every run by White Plains.
Largest lead swelled all the way up to 18 points. White Plains doing a good job both on defense and on offense to cut back into this, and one of their big weapons so far in the second half has been Jackson Guthrie. Both with his defense creating charge calls and on his offense as well.
Jackson penetrates. There's Guthrie open. Misses the shot after hitting those 3 threes. He's come up empty on his last 2. His brother with the rebound and draws the foul. So it is Jackson Guthrie who's giving his team a lift here in the fourth quarter.
He's really doing it just by doing the grunt work. He's kind of the guy on the inside, and he knows he's going to take a lot of swings and get a lot of physical contact down there. He made the field goal last time that set up the 3 points the old-fashioned way. Then buries another free throw right here. And with 2 minutes into this fourth quarter, he's really been the guy for White Plains. Scored every point for him so far.
And even bigger is he got the 4th foul on Houston, so Houston had to leave the game. But he misses the 2nd free throw, so it's a 12-point lead. And that is Wyatt, or Jackson, I should say, drawing the foul. Talladega gets it into Smoot, guarded by Hightower. Smoot almost has it stolen by Guthrie. Talladega being very methodical with their offense, and Duncan loses it out of bounds. So that's what White Plains needs, Talladega, to give them a few gifts and turn it over.
Kind of evening out the turnover margin so far. Now, points off turnovers will be a key statistic for White Plains as they move forward.
Doss trapped, and we're going to have a foul against Talladega. They get Ashton Duncan for the foul. So we're going to be shooting some free throws here the rest of the way.
Coach Chucky Miller with a pretty simplistic instruction to his guys. Don't do that.
Doss hits the first.
You can't really argue with that because at this juncture of the game, every foul becomes magnified, especially now that White Plains will go to the free throw line every time.
And as a team, White Plains shoots it very good from the free throw line. So the lead is now 10. A stop here, and White Plains can kind of break that mental barrier and get it under 10. Then it's anybody's ball game. Nice job there by Kevin Carr, hustling down, forcing a turnover. We've mentioned Talladega's been able to answer every White Plains run, but this will be the biggest one because we're in the 4th quarter now. White Plains looking to get the lead under 10. Carr penetrates, pulls up, shot off the glass is good.
It's a great adjustment in the air. Take a look here at the replay. Great adjustment in the air to go high off the glass instead of trying to make it a floater. And once again, White Plains gets a stop and they get the ball on the other end. And looks like Coach Chucky Miller now is calling timeout.
Yeah, Talladega starting to come unraveled here, getting very careless with the basketball. And that's what we talked about at halftime. They had protected the basketball.
Right.
And here in the 4th quarter, as you can see, Coach Miller, for the first time, he's really got something to yell about. And here come the Wildcats. You can just kind of sense this game turning in White Plains' favor.
Exactly, and it really kind of has that feel that the first quarter did where White Plains was hitting a lot of shots. You called it. One of the things that will drive a coach crazy is just unforced turnovers. And when you have good teams that can turn you over, you don't want to give them any freebies.
Reminder coming up, our final game of the TV24 Holiday Showcase, Gadsden City and Spain Park. That game is scheduled to tip off at 8:30, so we're just about right on track for that.
I was able to talk to Coach Reginald Huff of Gadsden City right before I sat down for this game, and he took one look at this place, and he literally had his jaw dropped. And
just like every player that's walked in the door today.
Exactly, and I was able to, I've been in this gym since 10 o'clock this morning, so it's fun to see different reactions when they walk into this place, especially people like him who has brought his Gadsden City Ball Club here time and time again for the regionals. And you could tell his mind is already looking forward to whenever he sees the Gadsden City student section filling up that side during the Northeast Regional come February.
Here is McGuirk. He's open and missed it. Oh, that's a great look for Michael McGuirk. You love that look whenever you can get it. Smoot takes it in the lane, dishes off on the baseline. Shot is good by Tuck. Talladega needed that.
We are seeing some really, really strong perimeter shooting Talladega Tigers. I've been really, really impressed by what they do about 13 to 18 feet away from the basket.
McGurk drives baseline, cut off, back out to Guthrie, and he hits a three. How about that, Jackson Guthrie? He has 7 points here in the fourth quarter, and it is a 7-point game. This is as close as White Plains has been since the first half.
We don't give out MVPs of the half, but if you are, it's going to be Jackson Guthrie here in the second half so far. He has been phenomenal on both sides of the ball.
And Talladega answer. Off the hands of Jalen Russ, and another turnover. I tell you, Coach Miller may have to get Houston back in the game. He's got 4 fouls, but you'd like to have Houston in that spot right there if you can. He's a pretty good finisher in the lane. So White Plains, here they come, 3.5 minutes to play, looking to cut into the 7-point Talladega lead. Macy Carr in the game and throws it behind the back court, but Talladega runs it down anyway. Oh, wide open inside is Russ, and he hits the shot and draws the foul. Jalen Russ on a great pass from Dickerson.
That's just a great, great play by 2 players who know exactly where they are. And Carr on the foul, and it's really not a bad foul, but what does make it a bad foul is he does it on a big guy that's a mismatch up top, and what ends up happening is he gets the basket and a chance at a 3-point play.
And the big fella gets the roll. That's his first points of the game, the old-fashioned three-pointer. 10-point lead now. We go under 3 minutes to play in the game. Hightower, cross point. Baseline drive by Jackson. McGurk takes it in the lane and banks it in.
Great sidestep there by Michael McGurk. We've seen him hit the long distance shot a couple times, and there he just drives it in.
Good pressure in the backcourt. White Plains comes up with a steal. Hightower misses the 3, and they're going to get a foul on Jackson over the back of Talladega's Jalen Russ.
Yeah, when it's a small guy having to climb that high off his back, it's a pretty easy call there.
So the big fella, Jalen Russ, who just hit a free throw a moment ago, step back up to the line for 1-and-1. Again, free throws will play a big part of this one down the stretch, the last 2.5 minutes. Big fella missed it, but rebound inside, shot no good, and they're going to get Russ over the back of Guthrie.
Back to back over the back, so taking a look at the second one. Call there by the official.
And now Jackson Guthrie goes back to the free throw line, where he is 2 of 3 here in the fourth quarter. Missed the front end. Tough break for White Plains there. Russ has got it, gets it ahead. And we've got a foul here on Guthrie. Probably not a bad foul, because if Tuck was able to compose himself there, he had a wide open teammate in Ashton Duncan headed to the basket. So instead, they'll make him earn it at the free throw line, while Darius Tuck is 2 for 2 at the line. And he's been the player for Talladega, Gerhard. He has had him for 6 points in the first half. He's had 6 in the third quarter, 2 here in the fourth, 14 points to lead his team in scoring.
Absolutely. We talked about Jay Smoot at the top of the telecast, where he came into this game as a leading scorer, and he really made his mark there in the first half. Hasn't done too much by way of scoring in the second half.
Guthrie misses. Smoot there for the rebound, and he is fouled from behind. So again, who wants it? Who's going to hit their free throws? Because this, the sport of basketball, you see these games like this happen a lot. The game is played one way for the most of the game, and then the last couple of minutes and turns into a free throw shooting contest.
Exactly, and it comes down to who will step up and make them in key positions and key moments of these kind of games. And these are ones that when you get into tournament play, when you get into area tournament play, you face good competition and good close score games, a lot of times it comes down to these free throws.
Smoot hits them both, so he has 14 points in the game now. Hightower left open in the corner. Missed the shot. Jackson with a rebound. Kind of cleared himself some space there against Jay Smoot, and they call Smoot for the foul.
Used his body there to basically just move Smoot out like a tractor trailer. Just pushed him out of the way, and he was able to get Smoot on the foul.
Jackson had a 3 in the first quarter, hasn't scored since, and he misses that free throw. So both teams struggling here in the fourth quarter with free throws. Jackson missed them both. Talladega's got it. And we've got a foul in the backcourt against Jackson. That'll be 4 on Jackson. So who's shooting? Looks like number 12 will be stepping up there, Ashton Duncan. And he is a perfect 2 for 2 from the line in the game. 7 points so far. Make it 8. Both teams have missed 4 free throws here in the fourth quarter. But Mr. Duncan makes both. And it's back to a 12-point Talladega lead. White Plains got to get a shot in a hurry. Cross court to Guthrie. His 3 is an air ball, but it's Jackson there inside to put it back in. And a quick timeout. Coach Randall stops the clock with 1:40 to play. Back to a 10-point game, and things really slowing down here as White Plains still trying to work their way back into this one. Cut it down to 7. That's as close as they got here in the fourth quarter.
Yep, 1 timeout left for Coach Chris Randall and the Wildcats, 4 left for Talladega. You figure they want to bleed this as much as possible. From a tactical standpoint, might see what Chucky Miller want to do, but this comes down to free throw shooting, so he might be able to sub defensive guys for his better free throw shooters if they aren't in the same person. But one of the things for White Plains that they will go back to is his early turnovers, because what that did for them was create such a hole that they were playing from behind the 8 ball really the entire game. They've played well in spurts, and they've really got a lot of great production out of guys like Jackson Guthrie here in the second half, Macy Carr in spurts throughout the game, Jared Guthrie in the second half as well, but they've been just digging themselves out of the hole that they put themselves into. That lead got as high as 18 points about midway through in the third quarter. They've done a good job of cutting it down. They got it down to, I think it's 7 as close as they got it.
And Coach Miller uses one of those 4 timeouts here. They were about to get it in, but Coach Miller didn't want to risk it. Can't take those timeouts with him back to Talladega, so he calls a 30 here. White Plains is 4 of 8 from the line here in the fourth quarter. Talladega is 5 of 9, so both teams have kind of missed chances to make some hay at the free throw line here.
Exactly, and this really hurts. I mean, obviously it hurts White Plains a lot more because, you know, they're down in the game, but this is normally a good free throw shooting ball club. And so far, when the shots aren't falling and the free throws aren't falling, you really set yourself up for some hard times. But credit White Plains, when they needed stops, they got them early on. And now see if they can make another run here with 1:40 to play.
Talladega just looking to get it in, and they do. Duncan dribbles up, beats the pressure, and White Plains is forced to foul him after he crosses half court. Ashton Duncan hit a couple a moment ago, so he'll step back up there. And they are all so important right now. Nice smooth stroke for Duncan.
It's also another point of the game where both Coach Miller and Coach Randall will find out which players they can count on in close games late against good competition. So don't be surprised when you see a lot of these same faces in regional tournaments and area tournaments late in games, because they've showed Coach Chucky Miller that they can play ball.
Duncan a perfect 6 for 6 in the line from the line in the game today. 4 of 4 here in the fourth quarter. White Plains another opportunity. Doss trying to get it to Guthrie, but it's stolen by Smoot. Ahead it goes to Duncan. That's who you want to be fouled if you're Talladega. He has been money. Again, 6 for 6 from the line in the game. 4 for 4 in the fourth quarter. Well, it's going to be a tough decision for the RMC player of the game. If Talladega holds on, you've got 2 or 3 options. And if they keep hitting their free throws, it's going to be very difficult for White Plains to come back with only 1:17 to play. So Duncan stays perfect now, 7 of 7, make it 8 for 8. Timeout on the floor, back to a 14-point lead for Talladega.
It seems like it was 7 just moments ago, and that's what happens when you get a free throw shooter that comes in and buries them like Duncan's done. Dickerson hit a few earlier, and even some of their big guys with Tuck and Robert Houston and Jalen Russ have played really big for them down the stretch.
Again, coming up momentarily at the conclusion of this game, Spain Park and Gadsden City will take the floor for the grand finale of the TV24 Holiday Showcase. Carl Brady and John Holder will join you for the call of that game.
2 teams that will make a serious run to Birmingham this year, and Spain Park has had a fantastic season on the gridiron. They beat their rivals from Hoover a couple of times. They're hoping to carry some of that momentum into the basketball season as well.
So out of the timeout, White Plains will inbound. Got some new faces in the game for the Wildcats. And this pass is stolen. Ahead it goes to Duncan. And he is hacked on the way to the hoop and lays it in. What a fourth quarter for Mr. Ashton Duncan. 6 of 6 free throws in the fourth. That basket. Chance to add another free throw here in a moment.
If he does hit this free throw, that will kind of be the game in a nutshell for Talladega. Really good defense leading to offense, and then you get a good free throw shooter at the line to put him away.
Well, does that seal the RMC player of the game for you?
I think it does. Mr. Duncan's got my vote.
I thought so. Guthrie has it knocked away. Dickerson's got it. Talladega will slow it down now and just look to milk some clock here. Talladega had to withstand some serious White Plains runs, especially early in the fourth quarter when the Wildcats cut it to 7. But then Talladega hitting their free throws down the stretch, thanks primarily to Ashton Duncan, one of those many sophomores that Coach Chucky Miller is very excited about in his Talladega basketball program.
Really a lot to be excited about with guys like Duncan, Dickerson, and even when they put in some of those big guys for them, been really, really helpful to Coach Chucky Miller's bunch. As the clock winds down there, Talladega caps it off 70-53 is your final.
So congratulations to Coach Chucky Miller and the Talladega Tigers coming in and beating a very good White Plains team. White Plains only their second loss of the season. Talladega picking up their 9th win of the year. Coming up in just a moment, Chase Robinson will try to get a word with Talladega coach Chucky Miller, as well as our RMC player of the game, Ashton Duncan, who had 16 points in the game, 9 of them in the fourth quarter, including 7 for 7 from the free throw line. That was just key right there for Talladega.
Absolutely. When he hit those free throws down the stretch, that did essentially was solidify their double-digit lead, because they carried a double-digit lead really ever since the late part of the second quarter. Those free throws down the stretch and those baskets down the stretch were really what kept that lead where it was, unable to make White Plains come back and make a run.
All right, let's send it over to Chase Robinson.
I got our RMC player of the game here, Ashton Duncan. First of all, talk about just playing in this arena. You know, it's a little different than what you're used to. Talk about that and then your team's performance tonight.
Yeah, the court was really longer than what we played on in high school, but our performance was better because defensive-wise, offensive-wise, kickouts and drive-ins.
And talk about your performance tonight. You were able to get your team that lead there with all those free throws. Talk about your performance tonight.
Well, I practiced on that. I practiced on that, practice shooting my free throws, hit with my teammates, kickouts and all that.
Well, congratulations, you're our RMC player of the game. You get our $25 Visa gift card, so congratulations to you and good luck the rest of the season. All right, and Coach Miller, talk about, first of all, your performance for your team tonight.
Well, I thought we played excellent defense. We knew White Plains was a great shooting team. We was just trying to limit their good looks. In most of the game, we shut down their outside shots.
And like I said with Ashton there, knocking down all those free throws, talk about his performance as well as some other players.
Well, you know, we've been working on free throws. It's been our downfall earlier in the year, but we worked on it getting better. We're a very young team. We're a work in progress. We just got to get better. I thought everybody played well. This is our fourth game this week. It was going to be a team effort tonight if we'd won.
And talk about this game, what this game means, getting to play here.
Well, I mean, I just like to thank TV 24 and Jackson State putting this on, getting the kids on a college campus, showing what life after high school is. It makes them a better person first, and see these other teams play, I'm very happy about it.
Well, congratulations, Coach, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Chase. Great job. And back now, of course, with Gerhard Mathangani, and we heard Coach Miller talk about how they've been working on those free throws. Well, it paid off today.
Yeah, it did, and that was the story of the game, especially late in the game. Those free throws, and really a lot of guys contributed to the free throws, but down the stretch, they knew who to give the ball to, and they knew where to put the ball, and they put the ball in number 12's hands, and he delivered.
I haven't seen all of Talladega's games, obviously. I've seen a couple. This is as good as in the games I've seen them play.
Right.
We talked about how smooth they were in this game. They really protected the basketball. Got a little loose with it there. White Plains really came after them there hard, especially early in the fourth quarter, but they withstood the rally.
Yeah, they did, and one of the things that impressed me with this Talladega team is when they changed the lineup, nobody freaked out. Everybody's got starter-like minutes, so to speak. All the main guys got starter-like minutes. He shifted around their lineup just like he said he would at the beginning of the game, but the different guys took on their roles. Once they found out what their roles were, they played them well, and especially down the stretch with their big guys and the perimeter guys, they were able to really cash it in and get a very good win over a very good team.
And they really did a great job, as Coach Miller referenced there, guarding the three-point line and limiting White Plains' effectiveness for the three-point shot in this game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the final stats before we put a wrap on this game and send you into our final game between Gadsden City and Spain Park.
A great shooting team for White Plains. Coach Miller talked about it. I will point you to 27% from downtown, 8 of 30. And that's after they started 3 of 4 early in the game. Really, that was their calling card heading into this game, is the fact that they could shoot that ball from downtown. Got a couple of three-pointers from Jared Guthrie in the second half, but just too little too late. And at the end of the game, the free throw shooting percentage and the free throws for Talladega, in addition to the 51% field goal and the 36% from downtown, and the rebounding totals went all Talladega's way, and that's exactly how this game went.
All right, congratulations. The Tigers of Talladega picking up the big win today over White Plains, but I think both of these teams have a lot to play for. I think both of these teams are going to be a factor for the rest of down the stretch.
Exactly. Both of these teams have been made better by playing in this game and by playing in this arena and getting tough competition as they enter area play and they look ahead to regional play, or area play and then hopefully regional play late in January, early February.
And of course, White Plains will be back on this floor in the Calhoun County Basketball Tournament in January, and I think they'll definitely be back for the regional as well.
Sure.
And so we wish both those teams the best of luck for the rest of the season. Well, we've been looking forward to this one all day, and it's coming up next. You got Gadsden City Spain Park warming up on the floor right now as we speak. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, Carl Brady and John Holder will join you for the call of our grand finale at the TV24 Holiday Showcase. We'll be back to the Peak in just a moment.